All right, we are live again. Here we are, another 1 o'clock program. Again, like I said, I always have to look at the clock because I feel like we're on one big day, one big week. But I'm here live with another huge Florida name. He is a big-time Florida head coach at Cypress Lake High School down in Fort Myers, which is a beautiful area. If you haven't been down there, go visit. He was a four-time NCAA All-American at UCF. He's back now in Fort Myers, coaching there, as I said. And so far, building that program, he's had 3 state champs, 6 finalists, 16 placers. And while he was at Fort Myers High School, he did make the States 2 times. And that's not bad considering he started in 9th grade. So we've got Coach here. He knows Florida wrestling. He's been around it his whole adult life. And he's here with us today to chat. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, great. Thanks so much for coming. I'm honored to have another amazing Florida head coach on here and talk about times right now. I don't know what you've been doing for the last 3 months. I mean, I can probably guess, but what are we looking at now? Are you getting ready to come out of this? And what's your focus?
Hopefully, I've been trying to keep myself in shape so I'm ready to get back on the mat with the guys and not hurt myself. Been trying to push them to do the same. Sending group messages, keep them motivated, workout ideas and tips, and just so we're ready to go when we get the green light from our school district.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I think everybody is kind of sitting around holding on. I know we've seen some clubs open up already. I know I'm on social media. I'm sure everybody else is too. And you can see the videos and the pictures coming out. So it looks like little by little we're kind of getting back to normal.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think the rules and regulations are going to be different as far as how we practice, but I think, or how we clean during practice or whatever, but it's been good. So you took over a program down there that it hadn't been doing some big things, and I'm reading, and it looks like since you've been there, you've really taken that program to the next level. Talk about what your vision was when you took it over, and how your culture and philosophy has worked.
So initially, when I took over, I was kind of taken over to help out and cover for a year while I looked for an engineering job, and fell in love with coaching and have been here ever since. My first year coaching, we finished the season with 6 guys on the team. The school in the, I think 40 years before I'd been there, had 7 state placers and 1 champ. And so kind of my thought and vision was follow what Coach Freeze had done and just mat time. I was a little bit fortunate with some of my first group that came through the program. We had Chucky Kirkesner, who ended up being a 3-time state finalist and 2-time champ, went on to wrestle at Franklin and Marshall in Pennsylvania. And a guy, Jim Ilias, who started as a freshman, not a whole lot there, and ended up being a 2-time state placer. So those were 2 of the guys that I had for my first 4 years. So was a little bit fortunate there to build the foundation, and we've definitely improved the level of the program. Not quite where I would like to have it, but I think that's always the case.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. It's good. Someone like you went off to college and gained some more wrestling knowledge and learned from some great coaches and leaders around you and brought it back to the kids. And now you got quite a little program being built there. So congratulations to that.
Thank you. Thank you.
A lot in your short time there. I know that I'm guessing just down the road from where you are is your alma mater, and Fort Myers High School, which has been known for having a good wrestling program in the state of Florida. I've learned, and but I understand there was a legendary coach there, Coach Freeze, and what has he meant to you in your life and your brothers, and just kind of growing in the community and wrestling and just being who you are as a man?
So Coach Freeze was essentially one of the founding fathers of Southwest Florida wrestling. Was a phenomenal coach, along with Ira Fleckman. The two of them kind of started Southwest Florida wrestling, and just his dedication to the sport. The first day of practice every single year, he'd make a speech and have a little chat with everyone about giving back to the sport, and trying to repay everything that the sport has given us and gave him. And so that's one thing I've taken with me to through my wrestling, through my coaching, et cetera, is giving back everything that it's given me, because it definitely changed my life, coming in as a pudgy freshman to going on through college and now coaching and so on and so forth. But Coach Freeze's influence has definitely touched my life, and I know hundreds and hundreds of other guys throughout the year.
Man, that's awesome. Excuse me. Man, that's awesome. And that's great to hear. And that's why I started the show, to hear stories like that. And because I've seen and heard what wrestling is doing. So that's amazing. So I know that you chose to go to UCF and Wrestle Club and WCA, and you became a 4-time All-American. Also, I know shortly after you got there, your brother came with you too. So you had a lot of great experience at UCF. What made you decide to go the club route? And talk to us about club wrestling, because I think that there might be a misnomer out there that you can't get some good mat time being at the club level.
Yeah. So initially, coming out of high school, I was not planning on wrestling in college. My kind of dream had been to go to Georgia Tech and study engineering. My finish to my high school career kind of left a sour taste in my mouth and made me feel like I still had something to accomplish. So I went and visited UCF and worked out with their team and got to know some of the guys, and felt like that was the right fit for me at the time. And looking back, it's one of the better decisions I've ever made in my life. Because in high school, like you said earlier, I started as a freshman in high school and got to be all right, but really turned the corner getting to college. During my freshman year somewhere, kind of gain a new level of confidence. And so going to UCF really changed my trajectory, if you will. And the club league is kind of a misleading term. The NCAA, when I was there, we traveled all over the country. In my 4 years wrestling there and then 1 year coaching after, I went to Pennsylvania 4 times, Iowa 4 times, Texas 6 or 7 times. We were in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee all the time. Went to Michigan. After I graduated, they were in California and Nevada, and took teams down to Puerto Rico for tournaments. And when I was there, I never paid a dime for any of that travel. Where I know a lot of programs, especially smaller D2 NAIA, D3, they're taking the starters on some of those trips. If you're not, you might have to pay your way. You might get to go on some, but we took pretty much everybody.
And these were open tournaments too, right? They weren't just.
Most of them were. For example, we went to the UNC Pembroke Open every year, big D2 tournament. I placed, I think, 5th there my junior year or senior year. We went to the Carolina Open at UNC Chapel Hill before the tournament folded up. We were at the National Duels at UNI. My first few years, we went to the Lone Star Duels in Texas. So we wrestled. I mean, I wrestled and beat and lost to guys, Division I guys, Division II, Division III, NAIA, JUCO. I mean, we were wrestling those guys every weekend. I mean, I think in my college career, I wrestled 180 matches. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So you definitely, if you're looking to get an education and it's a school that only offers club, don't look at it as it only offers club. Say, hey, wait, it's got some wrestling. I can do some stuff and go and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and the thing with the NCAA and the clubs is there's so many. I mean, I think it's the largest league in the country. But and even when I was there are teams and were teams like UCF. I compared it to a Division III program. I mean, we had 30, 40 guys on the team. We were practicing 5 days a week, traveling every weekend, so on and so forth. There were other teams that were 6, 7, 8 guys. They practiced a couple days a week. They were much more casual. But there's different levels and different opportunities there. So yeah, it's definitely something to look into. Most don't give scholarships, although some, like Grand Valley State, is part of their athletic department. The apprentice school in Virginia is under their athletic department. So it's definitely an option and opportunity for a lot of guys.
Very cool. And you actually finagled your brother into following you there, huh?
Yeah, which was, he kind of, and we had several Fort Myers guys. I followed Jason Balma up there, who was a couple years older than me from Fort Myers. And then my brother, there was another guy, Billy Rippey, and his younger brother, Ricky Rippey, who came up there. Jason Snow, who was a graduate of Coach Freeze and wrestled at NYU, was an All-American up there. He was helping out coaching. So we had a little pipeline going there for a while, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome. And then so that must have been cool getting your brother there, getting a couple years on the mat with him.
Definitely.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Sorry, world. Well, the last question, I just tell us about Ryan Johns, man. I read that story and I was like, I really want to know about Ryan Johns, man. Talk about that kid. That's awesome what you did for him.
So Ryan was a student in the life skills class. And he's a young man with Down syndrome, really enjoyed wrestling. And so his teacher, Todd Dusenberry, really pushes and promotes inclusion for his students. And so Ryan was a student in my wrestling class. And for our senior night, we got Ryan out there on the mat. He weighed in, took the mat for senior night against Dunbar High School, and went out there, got a win, got his hand raised. We awarded him with his varsity letter. It was a really cool experience for everyone.
Man, that's awesome. And the crowd must have just roared.
They loved it. Yeah, it was great. And not just Ryan, but we had another student that was in Coach Dusenberry's class, Francisco, that was on the team for several years and wrestled with us week in and week out. So it's a great partnership that we have with Coach Dusenberry and the life skills class, which is a really cool thing that we have going on at Cypress there.
Well, it's not really cool. It's freaking amazing. I mean, that's super, super cool.
Thank you.
Just pretty cool. Doesn't give it justice. I don't think there's a word that gives it justice. That's awesome. Just to have them out and doing that. And it's got to be really good. I don't know much about Down syndrome, but I know that keeping active is what keeps them kind of sane a little bit, like doing like pool skills and swimming and running. So being in a wrestling room has got to really help them a lot.
And Ryan's energy level in the class is off the charts. He's like bouncing off the walls when we're in there. He's jumping on everybody, wants to wrestle everybody, jumping on me.
Has he come back?
What's that?
Has he come back to visit?
He has some. He was finished up this past school year. And so he was in the class still this past year. And yeah, so it was in the room. Last I saw him was right before spring break, before we all got sent.
Maybe he'll be one of your coaches one day, right?
Yeah. Well, and Francisco came back and helped out coaching for 1 year. He was in the room beating guys up.
That's great. I know I got to put a shout out and find this one. There was a blind kid that I saw wrestled all the way through. I think he lost in states, and it was really cool to watch him, man.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to go through life seeing.
Yeah. I remember the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind had several really tough wrestlers back when I was in high school.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. Really cool. Well, hey, Coach, I mean, this has been really good. It's super cool. Wears the best purple pants in the state, Anthony Cerullo. It's awesome.
Thanks.
Paul's one of the finest young men that I have ever met, comes from a wonderful family, and he was a profound influence on my son, Jim Klein.
Thank you.
Getting some shout outs there, Coach. I'm glad that I saw that about Ryan Johns. I was going to ask you some silly question about your memories or something, but
no, that was right up there. It gave me goosebumps seeing him get his hand raised and holding his varsity letter. And
yeah, it's got to be cool. And what you're doing is great. All right. So
thank you.
You ready for the 10 questions?
I'm ready.
All right. Taking you back a little bit, we're going to go Blaze Pizza or Lazy Moon?
Lazy Moon.
Junior Columbian or Toasted? Were they around when you were up there?
No.
Okay. Knight's Pub or the library?
Pub.
Sanibel Island or Pine Island?
Sanibel.
Proud mom of Coach, Amy Rothenberg.
Thanks.
8 Foot or Old School? I think they're breweries in your area.
Old School.
City Walk or Disney Springs?
Disney Springs.
Water slides or roller coasters?
Water slides.
Tacos, burritos?
Burritos.
Love it. And when you're drinking a beer, do you go with a wheat or an IPA?
Wheat.
Perfect. Well, I'm sorry you haven't tried Junior Columbian or Toasted. You need to get back up here and try it.
I do. I haven't been up there it's been too long. It's been too long. I need to get back up there.
Yeah, Junior Columbian's like this. It's a Colombian burger, but they put like potato chips on it. It's really like potato chips and like this sweet salsa. It's really good. And then Toasted, they were created as a grilled cheese place, but forget the grilled cheese. Their burgers are the bomb. So
really,
yeah, they do a burger with a mac and cheese on it.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Take it from a fat guy. Not a wrestler, but yeah, it's really good, man. Well, when you come up, come by. How far are you from St. Pete?
We're about an hour and 45 minutes from St. Pete.
Okay, because I go down there sometimes, and then you're closer to Sarasota, right?
Yeah, we're about 45 minutes or an hour from Sarasota.
All right, I'll have to give you a shout next time I get over to that coast.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, hey, thank you so much for coming on. Was there anything that you wanted to speak about that we missed, or was there anything you wanted to shout out about?
No, I think we covered it. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. This is great for the Florida wrestling community.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I tell somebody I was super wrestling illiterate on April 6th, and I'm still wrestling illiterate. I'm just not super wrestling illiterate anymore. I've gotten to meet some cool people, learn a lot of cool things, and I mean, the biggest thing I've taken away from every single person is mindset.
Yeah.
I think if somebody said, out of all these shows, what's the biggest thing that you've taken from these shows is mindset. Every coach, every wrestler tells me when their mind shifted is when their wrestling shifted. and it's crazy.
100%. 100%. Yep.
You got a proud dad on here too.
Awesome.
He jumped on. All right. Well,
Thank
hey,
you guys.
feel free to share this with any platform you want.
Definitely.
I'll go back in and make sure that I tag you. I usually just throw your name up there so we can get on live.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I tag you, but please, everybody out there, feel free to share this anywhere you want to share it. And if anybody out there wants to come on, there's a book now button right there on the page. Just book now, and I'll see you when I see you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Coach, man, and good luck with
Thank
everything.
you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.